What is going on, everybody? My name is Jay, this is Unplayable, and today I'm going to be doing a first impressions video. Now, I just played Andromeda's Edge, the sequel to Dwellings of Eldervale. Now, they're not the same theme, obviously, but it's the same designer, different publisher, but the same concepts as Dwellings of Eldervale, except it's Andromeda's Edge. Now, I don't feel like I've played the game enough to give a full review, but I figured I would just go ahead, pop my camera up, put on the mic, and record and see what I come up with. But this is a first impressions on Andromeda's Edge. So, if you've never heard of Andromeda's Edge by Luke Laurie and Cardboard Alchemy, you can find the BGG link below where you can see pictures, descriptions of the game, all that kind of stuff. So go check the game out if you've never seen it before. Now, how did I like the game? I thought the game was fantastic. Obviously, I own Dwellings and I have it displayed, so I'm a fan of Dwellings. I think Andromeda's Edge is fantastic. It fine-tunes so much about what's fun in Dwellings of Eldervale and adds more fun. I also, low-key, with the exception of Star Wars, I almost always gravitate to a fantasy theme over a space theme, with the exception of Star Wars. And in this situation, I think the game works so much better as a space theme, in my opinion. I think thematically it makes more sense. I think the production of the space theme that they created in Andromeda's Edge is really captivating. It looks sleek. So I think that in general, the space theme there works so much better than the fantasy theme in Dwellings of Eldervale. Along with the fact that you're sending these things out and then building on top of them. In this, you're sending out workers and then building dwellings on top of workers. Thematically, there's a little bit of disconnect there, but I think it works really well in Andromeda's Edge. Mechanically, if you've played Dwellings of Eldervale, you're starting with 80% of the rules already known, which is that's not a bad thing. It's obviously it feels like a second edition of Dwellings of Eldervale. In fact, one of the people that I played with, he coined and said, it makes Dwellings of Eldervale feel like a prototype. And I kind of agree. I think that it builds upon Dwellings in a way that makes it more satisfying to play, more interesting to play. It fine-tunes, balances, and it takes out stuff that isn't necessary and really makes the things that felt a little bit lackluster in Dwellings feel a little bit better. For example, in Dwellings, you're getting these cards and you're putting them in the tableau, and when you bring your workers back, you get to activate those cards. It's not nearly as interesting in Dwellings as it is in Andromeda's Edge. You're getting more of those cards to build a bigger engine, in addition to some of these kind of puzzle pieces, and choosing more often what extra bonus tokens you're putting there. You can activate more of them with energy. Just the engine building feel of the tableau that you're building there feels better than it does in Dwellings, and the cards are smaller, so it feels really refined. I think that the different workers that you can get are more interesting, and you have more of a reason to get them in Andromeda's Edge. For example, the one that can go out into the space gas clouds or whatever to get the leaders out from there and bring them back. You have the one that lets you teleport anywhere into the board. I just think that something about the workers, special workers, feels better in this game. But a lot of the other stuff is very similar. The faction abilities, the combat, the tracks you're going up to get victory points. And then I think one big change that I think a lot of people will like is Andromeda's Edge feels way more open, because in Dwellings, once you go into one or two colors for scoring purposes, you kind of want to go hard in those two colors, maybe dabble a little bit in a third to score the most points. And this is way more open-ended. It's not a multiplier based on the colors that you have in the tableau plus the color of the track that you went up. It's very open-ended. You just straight up get points on the tracks. You just straight up get points for the things that you have built in your tableau whenever an event happens. I also think that being able to cycle through the event deck is interesting whenever you go out to the nebulas or space gas or whatever it is. And I think that the event track is also interesting because you get to kind of see when an event is going to happen, when some partial scoring is going to happen. and kind of plan for that. So much of this game I love this game. Like if I were to have Andromeda's Edge, it would probably just completely replace Dwellings of Elder Vale for me. But this is just the first impressions. So take that with a grain of salt. Take that with a grain of salt. So without doing a full review here, I do think Andromeda's Edge is very good. And if you like Dwellings or Luke Lori games like Cryo, you will like Andromeda's Edge. And the production value, obviously, it's incredible. The game trays inserts are probably the best inserts they've done so far, which is insane to think. But they are just really nice. Trying to think if there's anything else to mention. I think that's it. Obviously this was just first impressions. Maybe I'll do a full review of this later. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Bye.